Hi, this is Prakash. Today our chief guest is Avinash Nichwade. He is the CEO and founder of AN Global, which is having presence nearly 10 countries. In this session, we are going to learn or know about how to migrate to US and how to expand your business throughout globally. Third, how to get franchisee of your company throughout the world. You mention any country, you can get your company's franchise there. So to clarify those all things and to give suggestions and to know how you want to migrate to Canada, UK, you mention any country, so this guy will make you to immigrate to that country. That is his specialty. He's having nearly 15 to 20 years in this field. Now let us hear what in his own words regarding this AN Global. Yeah, welcome Mr. Avinash.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for coming to our studio. Now coming to our main session, immigration, business immigration, which we call it as EB5. Usually Indians are South Asian countries, even you get African countries, they are very much interested to immigrate to US and Canada and UK. So now since your presence is in all countries, usually the main green mark means the green, what we call it as a green eye countries, where which is everybody dreams to go there. That you are in the prospectus, you have seen that USA, Canada, Mexico, Australia, UK. So apart from Mexico, everybody, Bangladeshi or Pakistani or Saudi or Australian, everyone, everybody they want to migrate to Canada, US, and next UK and Australia. So now, what is suppose let me for example, I want to migrate to Australia. So how we are going to help me out? Or means what are the criteria how to follow? Maybe Australia, US, UK, or Canada. These are the four countries which everybody want to migrate.
Sure.
So what is the budget and how strong I should be? Will it be in Indian currency or in US dollars or in Australian dollars? How much I have to shell down and how much, what is the time process it will take? Can you brief us so that everyone can understand, because no one knows, they know they want to migrate to US, but they don't know the process.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm both Australian and US citizen. So let me start with Australia first. And from the feedback I get, is the government is not too keen on the business migration as such. So they've really slowed it down. And so we have qualified immigration consultants who we work with, and AIM Global will be listed on the MARA website, where they register all the things. But to answer your questions briefly, Australia and US are quite opposite in their business migration. In US, you need to have a business plan. You need to put money first before even you start. Australia that way is they have a checklist, they have a points test, and you work on the points. It depends on your age, your experience, your qualification, the company you own right now in India, whichever part of the world, what is the turnover. They actually analyze you as a entrepreneur, and based on the points and all that, and based on that, then they have the amount of investment that is required will be determined and all that. But you don't actually shell out money. You get all that things done. Once that is done, if you're, let's say, in Sydney metropolitan, it's very expensive. But you go to rural areas, it becomes cheaper. So the professional immigration consultants will answer the specific things. But so we help you get through that and see whether you qualify firstly. If you do qualify, make an application, do all the documentation, everything that is required, and only after you're approved, then you get 6 months or a year to invest in and get your PR. But when you go there, in Australia they call it PR, permanent residency. In US they call it green card. So that's the popular sort
Okay.
of in Australia.
Okay.
And we're just talking about business migration. We're only talking about getting the residency through businesses. Okay, so that's the Australia style, where you go to the points test, make sure. So all that thing will be done by our consultants. US, on the other hand, is totally different. like you mentioned, EB5, that's one of the most popular ones. And EB5 has gone about changes in last 3-4 years more than what it done in total 30-40 years before that.
Okay.
So it has completely changed. The models have changed. Uh, so EB5 essentially for your viewers is you are a foreign entrepreneur. You may be living in US, doesn't matter, but you are a foreign entrepreneur. What you are saying that, hey, US government, I'm going to invest in a project, in a business in US, okay? And that business is going to create employment and it's going to help the US economy. And US is a materialistic society, money drives everything, maybe like India now. So the US government says, okay, so EB5 process in simple terms is you invest in a project, the government will check that your source of funds is very clean or not. So you may be worth 1,000 crores. They're not asking you how you made your 1,000 million, 100 million, or whatever the big numbers your asset is worth. They're not asking you. All they want is the money that you are actually putting in this project for your immigration. How clean? They want to know it's clean. And when it say clean, you have to be able to explain where you got the money. It may be loan. It may be bank loan. It may be I bought a
Hand
house.
loan.
Huh?
Hand loan or whatever it may be from other friends, everything.
No, friends is not. You need to justify what you call where the money came from. Okay?
Okay.
So you can say, look, I bought this property 25 years ago for 1 lakh rupees. Now it has become 10 crores. Here's my buying document. Here's my selling document. Bang, you're clean. Or I bought a share of Reliance 25 years ago at 100 rupees. Now it's 10,000. Just as an example. And so here's a buying. Here's a selling. It's clean. So as long as they know the source of funds, you mentioned friend, yeah, I got this is my best buddy or my family or my father or mother or whoever, and they gave me the money. See, it's from their bank account, it's coming, it's clean. That's not the case. Where did they get the money from?
Oh.
That's what they want to know. So
Okay.
we did one EB5 case where the lady actually got on a divorce decree large money, and they said, look, this is as per court order, we got the thing. But that was not enough. Where did the husband get that money from when they're married and all that? So if yes, I'm running a successful business, I'm running this sort of profits over last 5-10 years, whatever, as long as it's reasonably justified. So this is what US government is going to look at. Hey, how viable is the project? Second is your money is clean. Third is your character. Character in this sense means you not breached your visa conditions, you're not convicted criminal, you're not going to be bad for the US society. Once they do that, the opposite to US, to Australia, this is a visa, there's no language criteria, there's no age criteria. You don't even have to be a business owner or being involved in business owner to be applying as an entrepreneur in EB5. Only the language of money that counts in EB5. Okay? And so once they look at that, the whole first step is you get a green card. Sitting here, you may be in India, you may be in US, wherever, the entire family starts with the green card. Okay? What is a family? And because if you're typical Indian, you'll say, hey, my uncle, auntie, this, that, his son, his daughter, 200 people. No, it's only husband, wife, and all the unmarried children, I believe under the age of 21. I'll have to check, the lawyers will tell you. But so everyone gets the green card as a starting point. Now, when you land in US, you land with a green card. Then the clock starts. So they call it conditional green card. Your rights are fully secured, except that you've told the US government that my project is going to create minimum 10 new jobs. Okay. So you do the 10 new jobs, 1 year, 9 months, you give them the evidence that it was done, and the US government will send you a letter, Mr. Prakash, you are great. You are a great asset to the US economy. You bring in clean money. You're an entrepreneur. You help you create 10 new jobs. Now you and your family I'm changing your status from conditional to unconditional green card.
Okay.
And from the day you landed in that country or the day you got converted into conditional green card, 5 years from that, you are entitled to be a US citizen. So that's really essentially the basics of EB5.
Okay. Now you are telling that. So I mean, how much I have to shell down to get an EB5 initially?
So EB5, the rules have changed, the numbers have changed. So the normal EB5 is $1,050,000. That's the normal what do you call investment amount. That is unrestricted. You can be in any city, anywhere, no restriction. If you want to get a concession, then it is 800,000. So it's not much difference. But that concession ties you to only the agriculture areas or and not so developed, not so good business-wise areas, because that's the areas that the government wants to improve. So you can, if you invest in those areas, they call it targeted employment areas, or what do you call agriculture areas and all, then you can do 800,000. The issue with that is that if you do 800,000, your business is not returning you good money. So as a feasibility point of view, I would advise that if you can afford 1,050,000, it's better to do that because you can scale up and do the business.
Okay.
One more very important point I want to mention is 90% plus, or even a lot higher, were done by a thing called regional centers. Okay, and most of the Indians and people associate EB5 only with what they were taught as a regional center. I would say more than 90% of those have disappeared.
Okay.
And those who are surviving, they were huge giants before. If they did 1,000 before, now they're doing 10 or 20 or 50. So they're keeping up the name for the sake of it. So that regional center concept has really been challenged and is in difficulties. The advantage of that was that you didn't actually have to employ people. The indirect jobs were counted. So the economists would give the report and say, hey, 50 million was spent, and so there was no direct employment that was created. So that's how it was actually being worked out. But now what is more popular is what is called as a direct equity. So when this legislation of EB5 came in, the pure legislation was purely, the simple thinking was, Mr. Prakash and the super entrepreneur from Hyderabad wants to come to US. He's going to create a factory. He's going to create a business. He's going to create some dynamic thing that's going to create employment for the economy. And that's a win-win. You and your family are relocating there, and the US government, you're getting all the benefits of being a US resident. And then US government is giving you that safety, security of being a resident.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, that's why EB5 was, so that's how it all came in being. And then, you know, how political lobbying happens and all these things happen in each country, maybe some in India too. These lobbyists got hold of the Congress people, government and all, and then they created this concept of regional center. And these regional centers, you can pool the money in, you can put the money, all these big skyscrapers, huge buildings and all that. So I don't want to get into regional centers so much, but that is not really what we will be doing. When we provide EB5 services, where we take responsibility, we are going in a direct equity model. We create a company, you put the money in the company, not giving me under the table. You create a company there.
Okay.
Every cent there is accountable and shown where is what's happening. In regional center, you never become, not never, but let's say very rare cases that you would have any direct involvement with the project or any direct equity in the project, forget about being in the top management and all. But when we do the direct equity model, you become a director in the company. You become a shareholder in the company. We create a separate class called preferred equity. That means that this money, this enterprise, you have an interest more than us, ahead of us, before us.
Okay.
And also, we also have a management agreement. So there's a modality we can talk differently, but that's the comfort that you as a investor for EB5 in direct equity model.
Okay.
So you are a shareholder in that legal entity, you are a director, so you know everything that's going on, and as a minority shareholder, you are protected by the US government.
Okay.
While in the EB5, the regional center model, you are just a glorified lender.
Okay.
You can tell world that, hey, this is Marriott, I've invested EB5, but you don't own even a brick.
Oh, yeah.
Here, you will own
Yes.
anything.
So, and that too, what are the in a direct equity? If we invest, so U.S. government will take care of our funding also. So
No. US government is not taking care of your funding. It's a private project. It's not a US government project. US government is only giving you your green card.
no. What I'm speaking is that one. You said that one when you directly invest in the company, we will be part holder of that one, of that company, shareholder, and apart from that one. So that will be means there will be a security, any security from U.S. government for that investment.
It's not a security, but what it is, you are legally, you have rights on that company. So you're a shareholder now. So there are minority shareholders, rights are protected. So if the majority shareholders do a fraud, they just think just to benefit themselves, they're wrong. You at least have a say because you are a director in the company, you are a shareholder in the company, you have a legal recourse.
Okay.
You can actually fight the thing, but it's
Okay.
not US government responsibility.
Okay.
It's a private business that you are doing.
Okay. When you are explaining clearly, you said that one if you directly invest in direct equity, so you can you will have a protection. Means you will have a backing of this U.S. government. You said that one. So
You have a right. You have a right because if you are as a minority shareholder, you are legally a shareholder. You're legally protected.
Okay.
Instead of just being a lender, you're not part of it.
So in regional centers, that is a lender.
Most of the models that I've seen, over 95, 98% are a lending model.
Okay.
So what they do is you have an investor, when you want to invest in an EB5, they show you all these glossy things and super sexy brochures and all these super successes they've had. When you're ready to marry, they create a little legal entity called limited partnership. You never invest in the project directly. You become a partner in this limited partnership, and then this limited partnership, which is hosting money of 100 people or 20, whatever the number may be, they lend the money. They lend the money to the project.
Okay.
So what are you? You told all your family relatives, hey, I'm investing in this big Marriott here, but do you own any brick? No. You are just at best a glorified lender.
Okay. So there is no protection for it.
Well, I can't talk as a lawyer, but you can understand the difference of being a lender with no right on the project to being a direct equity holder in the project, and direct in the company. So your rights are far greater than before.
Oh, got it. And okay, next question is that one. How much time? See, suppose you said that on $800,000 for agriculture sector, but whereas 1.5 million. But as an investor, means I want to get my green card in a cheaper way. So I will be more interested for $800,000 instead of 1.5 million because that
not
is
1.5, 1.05. You can say 1.1.
so whatever it may be, even 1.1 also. So it is coming. There will be a lot of difference between 1.5.
Yeah, correct. About 2 crores roughly.
Yeah, roughly 2 crores difference is there.
Yeah.
So 2 crores means it's a tough one.
I agree, and I'm not saying that EB5 is for everyone. No, it's only for those who can afford it, and it's a high. But then again, this money that you're putting in is not an expense. It's just an investment where you want to get it back.
Okay.
So if you, instead of hiding it under your bed, you made it open. I'm just joking. Okay, I'm not suggesting everyone does.
Yeah.
But so it's just. Instead of buying a real estate or putting in stocks, you've put your money into this company and you blocked it for a certain number of time. You're not lost anything. So it's not saying that this is going to cost me X and this is costing me X plus 2 crores. It's not that. It's just that you're blocking certain amounts of money, and it's not for everyone, but only for those who can afford it. It's a very, very good way.
Yeah. So now how I have to transfer my money to see when I application I have done for yours green card EB5 process. What is the time limit? It's when the work starts and how the funds has to be flown to US, and when temporary EB5 green card I'll get it.
So what happens, I think all these things will be customized, done by the lawyers and the chartered accountants and all that. And I do have, I believe there is some remittance scheme as per the Indian government and all that. So they will comply with all those legalities. So I don't want to comment on that. But as far as I'm concerned, the money has to come into the company accounts, and the evidence of transfer has to be there, evidence of source of funds have to be there, that what is the source of those funds as far as the EB5 US government is concerned. Um, you don't have to have all the money in before you can apply. You should have some money in, but certainly before they open your file, they need to, if all your monies are there, it makes it easy for them to know that yes, all the monies have come in. Let's say all the money, they don't have evidence that you actually wired all the funds, then they'll send you the questions. Again, your thing will be delayed, so it may take 3 months, 6 months and all that. So for those who have funds, it is better to just transfer it. And if you want to have a leeway, maybe in 6 months or so, you get the process started, get your application in, and then wire the funds. The lawyers can work on the source of funds and all that, and just make sure that, there's no definite timeline. The lawyers are generally more conservative. They would rather under promise and over deliver. That's the motto they have. They rather tell you 18 months and hopefully you get in 6 months or 12 months and all that. And each case depends on so many circumstances. The project, your background, the due diligence that the US government is doing on you, your family, your association with different organizations, be it political, you come from a communist country, let's say today you're coming from Russia, for example, your application is going to take a lot longer. It's the same thing, so it's also political things. So don't get too excited. I'm from India, it's going to be tomorrow. So that's a process that they do.
Okay.
And no one can actually tell you that you're going to get your green card in 2 days or 2 months or 6 months or a year. It just depends. And
Okay.
in case there was any breaches, let's say you went to US and you overstayed, that's a big mark against you. That may go on against you, whatever. So there are a lot of things that go on. And so the point about money is that all the monies should be there before, ideally when you start. If not, get started with the file, and at least in 6 months, make sure that all the monies are remitted to the bank account.
Okay. So usually, how much duration I can get a conditional green card?
So no one can guarantee you, including the best immigration attorneys in US. But I think I was there in 2019 in India, and there was this talk going on, hey, you have a 5-year wait and 7-year wait and blah, blah, blah. What I'm told, it is current, and so it is nothing like that. So generally, clients are saying some of them have got for around a year or so. So certainly, it is a lot more reasonable time frame. And so I think 12 months to 18 months is on a higher side that one can get.
So minimum is a 12 months and maximum the 18 months is the higher side.
Minimum can be less. I have come across some who've actually got it before also. Yeah, so but now it's all where you're coming from, where you're residing, what's your background. A lot of those things.
All geographical conditions play.
Some people are already in US on H1B. They've been there. They're all there. Background is there in front of them.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a lot faster for them
Okay.
than someone coming from a remote Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
They're doing to do all the background check, all the accounts, this, that, certifications, valuation.
Okay.
It takes time for them to do it, and then for the US government to verify and check and cross-check and all that.
Okay.
And if you're already living in US for the last few years, it's easy to do background check on you rather than from you, because they want to know your affiliations. You're in any way a threat to the US economy.
Small to interrupt you. Now, say, suppose, let us think that one, until and unless we get conditional green card, up to that point, we can't enter the US, or we can get immediately enter and we can wait for that one.
So that's a lawyer question, but you may already have a B1, B2, that's visitor visas. So that's valid.
If I'm not having anything, zero, I'm not having B1 or I'm not having H1, then?
Well, it's a very tricky question, and I don't think I'm qualified to answer this. But as I understand, and I'm not giving any immigration advice, but technically, you're supposed to talk about your intent, and they want to see. So immigration, so EB5 has an immigration intent, while tourist visa is not immigration. It's just saying I'm going to go, visit, and come back. Okay, so that's a conflict there. So
Okay.
it's up to the officer what he believes in you,
Okay.
and things like that. So generally the lawyers will advise you not to do anything. But I do know in many cases, I don't know whether India it will be allowed or not, but if you have applied, maybe on the basis of that, something can be done. But I'm not giving you immigration advice. That you are required to go to help get the business off the ground, and you want to go there, that's fine. In some countries, I do know that once you apply, that you can actually go to US and wait for the decision while in US. I'm
Okay.
not sure whether that is applicable for Indians or not.
Okay.
So that is really the EB5 as I know it.
Okay. And now coming to the point H1B.
Yeah.
Already the people are there. So for them, you said it is easy.
Yeah, it's easy for them because US government has got all the personal information on them. So
Okay.
when they pass on them and their spouse and the children's details, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, hey, I don't even have my birth certificate here. I've got to go and
Okay.
find out.
Okay.
All those problems are not there.
Okay.
And to check the character, check the thing, it's a lot easier for them. And they can continue with their job until they get the green card. Now they can just change the status, it become green card. Now they're not bound by the H1B conditions.
Okay. Right.
And now they can get better employers because a lot of employers are not willing to employ you because they have to sponsor you and they
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Yes.
But with a green card, now you can do it.
Yeah.
Your spouse, I mean, you're a resident now. You can do your business, you can do job. Your children get all the benefits of being there. If you're an entrepreneur, you get some government guaranteed loans. You can get $10 million, provided you also put in and show the plan and all, which is a huge help. So your whole life can actually change with this green card.
Okay. Got it. And apart from that one, finally, one question. I'm sitting in India, or I'm sitting in Africa, I'm sitting in Saudi and Dubai. So I'm going to pump in the fund to the US companies for immigration of this EB5 application. So everybody will have a doubt. I'm transferring $1 million to that company. So anything happens to my 1 million. So what is going to happen? So for that doubt, so what is your answer for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a legitimate doubt. It's everyone's hard-earned money, and no one wants to part even with $1. $1 million is a big, so it's a calculated risk people are taking. So number one is you're not giving to any individual personally. You are transferring the funds into the company. Of that company, you are a director. You are a signatory to that money. You are a shareholder of that account. So that should give you some stability, that it is not going into Prakash's side pocket and then it's just fallen off somewhere. It's proper, legal, everything is there. That's on one side. Second thing is the business risk. Business risk is there in whatever we do in life. We come out of the studio, a car comes and hits us, we're gone. What risk can you calculate?
Yeah.
But when we are doing the business project plan, we working it out, we hedge those risks in certain ways. And so maybe without you asking me the question, I should say that the EB5 legislation states that your money has to be at risk. So you are coming from Africa, you're coming from India, and you say, I'm putting $1 million. You give me a personal guarantee that my money is safe, that I will get my money back. If I do that in writing, you will not get your green card.
Oh.
Because legally, your money has to be at risk. Okay. If I guarantee you X returns, if I guarantee you your money is safe and all that, that's against the spirit of the legislation. Okay. So you got to bear that in mind. And those who have $1 million have got a reasonable business sense. They've got accumulated with hard money and all. So that's the thing. And within that, we try and minimize the risk as much as we can.
So, and can I have any insurance for this $1 million what I invested in you?
I haven't seen anything, and EB5 has been going for 30 plus years. I haven't seen the insurance. And you're right in some ways when the things that have happened, in 2008, 2009, there was a financial crisis around the globe. A lot of projects could not happen, and a lot of people, mainly Chinese in those days, had to go back because the project was not happening. I'm sure that COVID has got a lot of stories that we haven't come across. I know a lot of regional centers have gone bust because they just couldn't do the project. There's no money there. So this is a real thing, isn't it? Does it happen every day? How many times a global crisis is going to happen every month? No. COVID is going to happen every year. So these are things that you cannot plan for. Life happens, but I think it's pretty good, pretty safe. It's been time tested. It is not something new. It's not in the English say pie in the sky,
Yeah.
it's a real. People have got green card, family migration through EB5. It's a proper, legitimate way. And what we are doing is to help the clients achieve their goals, achieve their dreams through direct equity method.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, I had a client, he wants to do 2 clients here in Hyderabad, and very successful, and I told him straight, there are 2 ways. We can help you by being a consultant and everything. You do the business, it's your money, your control, you employ, you satisfy the norms. We can still consult you and help you out, but you take the entire risk. That's all yours. Or we create, as what we are suggesting, we create a new entity in which you are a director, you are a preferred equity holder, we have a management agreement, we take all the risks. Any losses is ours, any profit is ours. But we will take care of everything. We'll ensure you get a green card or we are liable for it.
Okay, next point is that one, suppose you are staying in US, I'm staying in India, or any Pakistan or Bangladesh or Saudi Arabia, whatever it may be. So how the laws will affect me? If I want to, anything happens, means legally how I can proceed from any country?
Well, you're hoping that it's good to talk about negative things, but let's not just focus on negatives. But let's say you got your green card 1 year, 1.5 years, you're already in US now.
No, if I'm not speaking about the US, I'm speaking whether where they're in respective countries, they have invested, they have transferred the fund to you in US, and anything happens. Okay, one question is that one, how to get back the money, or if within a stipulated time, if I'm not getting a conditional green card, how the amount will be returned back?
I mean, those things can be talked subjectively, if people are too scared, I think you should tell them, don't worry about it. Okay, this world of entrepreneurship is for the brave and things. And I would say 1 or 2% may go wrong, but 98.9%. And if you make 1% as your 100%, then it's better not to waste each other's time. But for those, we can minimize the risk. Now, let's say what happens. And now, in some cases, we can put a condition. You've thrown me off the cuff question.
Yes.
We can say, okay, we won't start the project or start spending, or maybe from the $1 million, we can only take 10% or 20% or 30%. Rest we will wait until the green card is approved. So you hedged your bets.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario
we can minimize the risk.
Minimize the risk. So in a reasonable way, we can arrive at everything depending on what it is. So that is one way you're minimizing your risk. But the other risk you're taking is you're not starting your things until you get a green card. Now in 9 months, 1 year, 9 months, you have to prove to the US government that I have actually got all these employees.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're in panic mode. You can create more loss for your risk appetite. So if you're a reasonable person, you can say, yeah, let's wait for 6 months. Now let me start releasing the things. Let's get the thing going. So it's like you're starting your car. It's in the first gear. Let's take it slowly to the second gear. By the time I get my green card, I want the car to be already in third gear. And so that when I come, it can go in the 4th gear.
Yeah.
So if you are so risk averse that, hey, don't touch any money until I get a thing, then you're having a big risk too. because
Okay.
your business is not taken off. In fact, the business may take off, may start to give some profits as well, which will actually help you. You don't need to employ 10 now. Maybe you can just have minimum numbers and get going. You get the concept, get the business. So all those things can be discussed, can be worked out, or you may, why just look negative? You may look at positive. You may say that okay, the business started and the business actually flourished,
Yeah,
and
no, no. See, I mean, that is okay. But see, until means what are the fund I'm going to pump? So I may say that one, okay, hey, please wait up until my arrival to US. Then only you start doing the business. That condition is there.
well, not condition, but you are taking a big risk because you may not be able to show that you had 10 employees.
So once I arrive to US, then I can create 10 employees for them,
Yeah,
no?
but it's not going to be overnight. It's not butter chicken or your dosa halwa that you just dish it and is there. You want the business to get going, to find the right people, to even to create something. Anything takes 6 months to get going from concept to ideas and all that. Now you're not able to show those employment. You haven't got, or in a rush you hired anyone, wrong people. That is a lot bigger. So if the fear is going to ruin you, then you might as well not come into this.
Okay.
Okay. And as long as you're reasonable, yes, everyone has fear. No one wants to lose.
Yeah.
No one. Even the richest 100 people in the world, if you tell them, can you lose $10? They may say no. They may give $10 billion as donation,
Yeah.
but they will not like to lose $10.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no one wants to lose money, but
Okay.
everyone has to be fair and reasonable. I
Okay.
mean, why are you investing? Is it just pure business or are you doing for family reasons?
Okay.
Now, for family reasons, I mean, you look at our Indian society. I mean, people throw crores and crores for the children's education. Do they ask, hey, what is my risk? I give this donation to you. What if this happens and that happens? It has happened.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people give a lot of money for whatever they want to achieve. So, but chances of that not happening is very, very minimum. So just because it's minimum, yes, the risk is there. One has to acknowledge that there is a risk, and we will try to minimize so that everyone is comfortable.
Okay. We have covered all the questions regarding EB5. Thank you very much for it. And hope what is the consultancy fee we have to pay to get our things processed?
No, consulting fees and all is very the minute part. I think we can talk about it. There is a invest amount that has to go into the business. The legal lawyers will have individual contract. They do all the legal things. We general acceptable fees for administration fees about $50,000-$60,000 one time to create the company, to create the business plans, create all those things for all your time and all that answering questions. So that's one time fee. Then the business starts and then we take over the entire thing and we're
So
responsible.
$50,000 is your consultancy fee.
That's not just consulting fee, it's all the costs.
Floating a company, everything.
Company, business plans, a lot of due diligence, I mean, all those things will be one-time fees, yes.
Okay, then means apart from this $1 million, they have to shell down extra $50,000.
Extra 50,000, they're their own costs anyway. I mean, if you're a regional center, they pay 100,000 to get an economist report and all that to get to service the USCIS documentation.
So for regional centers, they charge $100,000, huh?
Which one? No, they don't. Most of regional centers charge. Now regional centers have actually bumped up their fees. 60 to 80,000 they charge now.
Okay.
As admin fees. You know, but regional centers is a different model. They may spend few $100,000, but then they spread it over 10, 20 clients, thing like that. So it's different, but this is a legitimate expense that you would pay anywhere. And lawyers' fees you pay them directly, and we get the.
So
business
apart
paid.
from this 50,000, we have to pay lawyer fees, everything separate, or which includes everything.
No, lawyers is separate. Lawyers will have an independent professional agreement. All the privacy, confidentiality, everything will be maintained. We don't need to know your into
Got
it.
it.
So we respect that.
So how much that will be cost around about?
I mean, generally over 5 years because there are stages within law and thing also.
Yeah,
First
okay.
is the initial application.
Okay.
Then after your approval comes through, then you have to change your status to the green card.
Okay.
You'll go through interview or whatever process they'll explain to you.
Okay.
And it also depends on how many numbers of people included in your application. So they will give a separate price for that. And there's a government fee. So then the second stage, and the third stage is the final stage when you give them the full documentation that you actually did create those jobs and they're legitimate employees. And
So initially, how much initial to begin with up to the temporary green card? How much they shall shut down?
well, I mean, generally lawyers will ask for at least $20,000 upfront to get, because there's a lot of work involved, a lot of due diligence involved. Plus the government fees are standard, so they will be asking for that. This will be their fees, and then the government charges and all that. But those things are very minor issues. I think let's get to that point where someone is interested, and then it's open book. Like it's nothing hidden that will certainly come as a surprise.
Okay.
Before they even make the decision, before they make shell out $1,
Okay.
everything is there.
Okay.
But I think generally we go, once you start talking about negative things, I think people just focus on that.
Yeah.
And they forget the bigger picture.
Yes.
So I would rather make them understand what is this thing and if it is suitable for them for whatever reasons. And there are people, for them, they don't want green card, they want. So whatever the reasons why they're doing it, as long as that is clear, and then it says cost benefit analysis.
Okay. Usually, in our conclusion, what I understood is that one instead of $800,000, it is better to go for $1 million
Yes.
for speedy green card approvals. And apart from that one, it is easy to generate 10 employees there
Yes.
with that one. Whereas in if you shell down $800,000, that is in rural areas, you can't generate 10 employment, which will delay your green card process.
Yeah, it's more about the financial viability of the business. You're right, to get good quality employees in rural areas, they all sit like go to Silicon Valley, you find all the IT people around,
Yeah.
best resources.
Yeah.
You come to Dallas, so those resources that you'll get in the main cities and all, you're not going to get into far off, because people say, I don't want to move there. I have my children's education. My wife also has a job. I don't want to relocate there. But I'm in Dallas. I'll work here.
Okay, okay.
So employment opportunities, profitability. You run a restaurant as an example. You're in a remote area where the population is so tiny.
Yeah.
How is your financial break-even point?
Right.
Feasibility. Yeah, your rent may be a bit cheaper, but it's not thriving. But you're in the main downtown, your main areas, your business is going through the roof.
Okay.
So it's a business decision.
Okay. And apart from this $1 million, you have to shell down nearly $50,000 for a consultancy fee for AN Global to get all this done up to the green card. Okay. So that is included everything. And next $20,000 initially shell down payment to the what we call lawyers.
Immigration lawyers.
Immigration lawyers to
Yes.
get your paperwork done and to get clear of all the hurdles which you may enforce you may face through embassy. So these are the things. So I think folks, you got a clear understanding regarding EB5, and it's very thankful for explaining because so many people have so many doubts regarding EB5, but no one cleared that one. With this interview with our Avinash, the managing director of AN Global, we got a clear, detailed understanding about EB5. And anyone who wants to apply for EB5, then contact the number which is scrolling down. They'll get your work done. Any business consultants, EB5, you want any what we say, if you want immigrant apart from US, UK, Canada, and Australia. These are the 4 countries which they are having their own offices, and your immigration can be done to those countries: US, Canada, UK, Australia. These are the 4 countries they are doing immigration. So usually from India and Asian countries, they prefer US. For that one, within 12 months, you will get a temporary green card. That's what we have done. We came to know the conclusion. And the costing already I told you. So this is the best way. Next thing is that $1 million you are going to invest in that one. That will be, if you want, you can keep it up to until your arrival in US, or before your arrival only, you want your 10 employees to be recruited and your business want to run, they will take care. Everything will be done in a phased way. So there is and apart from that one, since instead of regional centers, investing in regional centers is risky, because if anything happens, you won't get back your money. Whereas in your equity, you are direct investor, you are the director of that company, so you have every say on your word of the company activities. Better to always get into direct equity into the company instead of regional centers. These are the things which we got till now understood in our interview. Thank you very much. to all your things. And thank you, Avinash ji, coming to our studio and clarifying all the regarding EB5 things. And regarding your business perspectives, even if you want to migrate to US or anything, you can contact the number scrolling down. That is in the our things. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prakash.
Yeah.